everybody. What we're going to be talking about today is an art form that is called Abstract Expressionism. Abstract Expressionism is an art movement, which means it was a popular style of art that was done by a group of artists. Abstract Expressionism is art that's based on non-realistic objects, art that expresses your mood or emotions. It can express a feeling. It can also express music, which is what our artist that we're going to be focusing on today, which is Vasily Kandinsky. He did art that was very, very important during the time of abstract expressionism, because what he did was he would listen to music, and listening to those songs, he would translate through his art how he was feeling with different notes. The high upbeat notes, we're gonna have a certain kind of line, and the low sad notes, we're gonna have a different type of shape or line or color that he would associate that with. So for this project, I would suggest having a piece of unlined paper. If you have, you can use whatever you want to. Well, that's what's so great about abstract expressionism, is there's kind of no right or wrong way to do it, because you're not trying to make something that looks like anything. You are just listening to a song or feeling a feeling, and you are just throwing that onto your paper. The goal is to fill up your whole paper with different types of colors, different types of lines, shapes, patterns, textures, materials, whatever you have, and just fill up that paper in order to express yourself. So it's really fun art, and so we're gonna have some fun with it today. I'm gonna play different music that is going to evoke different moods or emotions, which we can translate in art to different types of lines, to different types of shapes, and to use different types of colors for that music. So with abstract expressionism, you're not gonna think too much. Don't think a lot about this. I want you guys to just go. Just if you feel an angry emotion or scared, what is the first reaction that you might have? What's the first type of shape that you want to do? The first type of line? And it's going to be different for everybody that does this. So for instance, for me, maybe a wavy line is going to be a happy line, and a zigzag line or a dashed line, that might be a more scared line for me, or an anxious line. And that can show the way I'm feeling. So your art is going to change throughout your paper, because we're going to be listening to different types of music. Okay, that music was a little scary to me, so I did kind of my scared lines, and now that we have kind of a break in between the music, I can go ahead and I can make my line a little bit thicker. Yours is going to obviously be very different from mine, and that is okay. But do you guys see how I kind of just went in for it? I didn't think too much about it. It was just the first thing that came to my mind. So that music was a lot happier to me. Maybe it wasn't the same for you, but I thought that music was very upbeat, so I have some more upbeat lines. And like I said, there is no right or wrong way to do this. You guys can do this any sort of way that you feel when you feel the music. So that made me feel a little sad. So I drew these little kind of raindrops to think about, like kind of tears or sadness. So that's what I drew for that music. made me think of a battle scene or someone's getting things done. So I wrote X marks the spot. That's what I thought of for that. So as you can see, the more I'm listening to music, the more that I'm doing things, I can just experiment with putting things all over my paper. I don't think that I'm even remotely close to stopping. I have so much white space still, and I have so many other kind of moods and emotions to run through. So I'm just gonna continue adding things on here. And I also wanted to show you some ways that you can experiment. If you have water soluble markers or washable markers at home, you can use water to kind of turn it into almost like a paint and make it a little bit fuzzy. So for instance, with your happy lines or maybe with your sad lines, if you don't want them to be so strong, if you want them to be a little fuzzier, you can add some more marker to it. Take a brush and some water, and you can kind of move around that marker to almost make a paint. You guys see how that happens? All it is since this is washable marker, it's going to kind of blend those colors together by using just a little bit of water. Okay, so now I've finished adding all of my different parts, and I waited for the parts that I went over with water. So if you did the marker and water trick, you need to wait for it to dry. So you should be able to touch it and it shouldn't be wet anymore. Now what you're gonna do is you're going to take your black. Again, you can use either a black crayon, a black marker, a black color pencil, whatever you have. But you're going to take something that is black and you're gonna add some stability to your chaos. This big X here, so I'm thinking I'm gonna have maybe like a straight line that goes through my happy bubbles. And then maybe I add some black little boxes. So there's kind of no right or wrong way to do this. You're just gonna start to add a little bit of black to kind of add some stability to your art piece. And you can even, it doesn't have to be straight lines that you're adding. That's just what I felt like my piece needed. But it does not have to be straight lines. If you want to add some curves, you can. It's up to you. All right, so I love the way mine came out. So this is my abstract expressionist art piece. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. I cannot wait to see your designs. So please share those with me and have a wonderful, wonderful week.